is most obvious to residents. Its appearance and maintenance affects all residents and generates inquiries from across the borough. The year of 15-16 started badly. Vital brass cutting equipment was not repaired in a timely manner. This made it difficult to catch up. Weather conditions increased the rate at which grass and foliage grew, and heavy downpours made cutting problematic. Arrangements were made to overcome these difficulties, equipment was hauled in, and ultimately our parks and open spaces were restored to their former glory. 2015 budget cuts began to impact on the borough. 59 deleted posts in street services and parks reduced the efficiency of these departments. Staff were demoralised. Residents were telling us how disappointed they were with the lack of street cleansing and general decline of the borough. This is what I've said before. When service is taken away, it is harder to replace officers and service. Cut it, clean it, fill it has been put in place by this Conservative administration to improve Thurrock for our residents. Teams under the service are hard working and have pride in their work. Personally, I feel privileged to be portfolio holder currently. It is not a role that I've taken for granted, but I have seen changes made that are having a direct impact on our residents and their well-being. Measures include on the street cleansing side, barrow beats brought back. This enables operatives to clean back lines where detritus builds up and collect litter. The borough has now had a deep clean. We've also been trialling new street cleaning vacuum type equipment. Fixed penalty notices have been introduced for littering and dog bailing. Initially there would have been a peak in issuing fixed penalty notice. This will now plateau as it becomes common knowledge and a minority of residents and visitors change their entrenched behaviour. Over 500 fixed penalties have been issued to date. Where matters are not directly under our control, for example the A1089, with regard to littering and fly tipping, we have persevered and persisted to get an outcome for residents that is acceptable. I have driven this route recently, and where lay-bys were open with accumulated waste, they are now closed and much cleaner. But that is an ongoing situation. It's going to need persistent keeping an eye on. Business waste contracts. Businesses were reminded of their legal obligation to dispose of their waste responsibly and provide documentation. £100,000 of new business has also been generated. By 16-17, it should be up 60% to an estimated £309,000. Moving on, fly tipping and organised fly tipping crime continue to rise. It's a national trend. We are part of the Essex Rural Partnership Task and Finish Group regarding fly tipping. We continue to engage with private landowners and advise them how to secure their land so they are not a victim of fly tipping. And as a landowner ourselves, we continue to monitor and assess locations for fly tipping and target hardening. We manage in excess of 26,000 trees and have a winter planting and maintenance schedule. The Environment Department hasn't had any significant investment in a number of years, so a number of capital bids have been put forward. Amongst these are enhancements to play areas across the borough, continuing to target harden, new equipment, for example, refuse highways, ground maintenance vehicles, big belly bins is enough. We want the Environment Department to be the best it can be, so I would ask that if you speak to residents, please encourage them to use the Thurrock Council Report It app if they can. Or if you email me, remember to CC members' inquiries. This will mean that the reporting is more efficient. For example, if a councillor is on leave, there may be a delay in reporting and resolving an issue. Thank you to all officers for their hard work and perseverance. We need to move forward together now to make our residents proud of the place they live in and improve it for everyone's enjoyment. The year of 16-17 has been a year of two halves. It felt like things could not get any worse. Now, under this Conservative administration, they can only get better. There will always be an environmental issue to report, an improvement or a tweak to services we provide. There is a desire to give the best service we can for our residents, and in the last 6 months we have come a long way in a short space of time.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Gerrish, as Chair of the Cleaner, Greener and Safer Avenue and Scrutiny Committee, do you wish to speak?
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and I'll first thank the portfolio holder for her report and thank her too for her engagement with the Overview and Scrutiny Committee over the year to date, including things like taking questions and answers from members and listening to our recommendations on things like environmental enforcement, which were provided cross-party. Clearly, I support the drive to add additional environmental resources and to make our borough a cleaner place. However, there are still some places in the borough where no improvement's being felt. Many residents in West Thurrock say they're still waiting for any clean-up to happen. Can I ask the portfolio holder to commit that there will be action to clean up areas that have not yet been sufficiently improved, and that we make sure all residents in the borough can take advantage of additional investment?
Thank you for your question. Well, that's disappointing to hear, because in my other role I have a number of members of the public coming in, and they don't know who I am, and they don't know what I do. And our street cleaning teams are so visible now. They're bright orange with their PPE gear, and the members of the public tell me how many they're seeing now. And I haven't had an email from you, Councillor, saying that you feel that your ward is being deprived of cleaning. I don't believe you've reported it. Of course we want to give our borough a good, it's had deep clean, and we want it to be clean everywhere in the borough, because we want all our residents to be proud of it. But, you know, have you reported it? Because, as I said, there will always be a tweak to the service, and we want to get it right. There's no saying that somebody hasn't been along there and cleaned it really well, and somebody very ignorant has just put rubbish on the floor.
Councillor Snell, do you wish to speak? Councillor Canale? No? Councillor Maynard?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Can I thank Councillor Tolson for her report? Madam Mayor, in her report, Councillor Tolson touched on the problems we had last year with the grass cutting service, which was very slow to get going. I was frankly embarrassed to be contacted by residents who had witnessed other residents in Little Thurrock Blackshots cutting the grass on Blackshots playing field in order that their children could play football. That actually gave way to dismay when I realised that it was a direct result of the operational decisions taken by the last administration. What I'm asking for the portfolio holder to do is to give an assurance that this year the service will be fit for purpose, and that we don't see a repeat of the problems last year. Could I ask that she give us an overview of the steps she's taken to ensure that, and what extra resources have been allocated to the grass cutting service?
This financial tax year, there's been an additional cost that this Conservative administration shouldn't have had to bear. It's an extra £31,520. And the reason for that is we had to spend £16,000, nearly £17,000, in repairing a piece of equipment that should have been serviced in the previous tax year. It didn't actually get its service until the beginning of June. We're meant to be cutting in March. Then we've had to hire in a Trimax rotary again, 5,400, a paddock mulcher and a tractor. All of that comes to an extra £31,000 in this tax year. What are we doing to sort of overcome this? We've now sent the borrowed spearhead, the flour machine back that we had on hire. We've got the new tractor, we bought a new spearhead, and we've got a Trimax rotary that we bought. We had 9 agency staff that were helping clear the parks and clean. They're now, the 6th of those now onto litter, and 3 have gone on to major roots grass cutting. We don't want to see a replication of what happened before. We don't want to get to that stage. And I've also asked twice now, as that pier has been repaired in good time for the cutting season in March, when it stunts the grass, and I've been assured it has been.
Thank you. We've only got a few minutes left. We've got a lot of questions need to be asked, so if we could all keep questions and answers as brief as we can, please. Councillor Watkins.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Thank you to the portfolio holder. Can you inform me, please, before Labour took street cleaning barrows away, did they consult the public for their opinion?
It seems to be the case that when the administration formally want to drive things through, similarly to the rural bus route in Fulham, they don't consult the public. So they took that away, and they also took street cleaning barrows away without public consultation.
Councillor Smith.
Yeah, good evening. Just a couple of points really. I seem to be coming up quite a lot against fly tipping in back alleys in the borough, some of which are not adopted. Could she confirm for me that the council, eventually the council will have to clear these mess away? Could she confirm that there will be no more fudging that issue? And can she also confirm when are we going to chase down these absolutely outrageous industrial-sized fly tippers that are treating our place like a dustbin? We need to double up our efforts.
I'll do it in reverse order. We did used to have 12 environmental enforcement officers deployable for environmental crime. We now have 2. We're going to try and get that up to 3, because I think we need 12 actually, but we've got 3. I'm not sure if you was one of those people that voted for that cut. Our environment team has been out with the police. They're also got some other scheduled visits to tackle the fly tipping. It may be we only need to catch one person and they may be responsible for many. Do you want me to answer the second question, because Councillor Spielman's covering that in his questions later?
Yes, you should do. If you can briefly, please.
The policy is that we will not be cleaning fly tipping off of private or unadopted alleyways.
Councillor Jones.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and I'd like to thank the portfolio holder for a report, and she's been quite a busy lady. It's about a third report, plus she's been to clean it our committee, so that's very good of her. One of the things that at least has been clarified now is the cost of this clean it, cut it, fill it, because when it was first announced, that's one of the questions that I asked, and realistically, they get no answer. But now we know it's going to be about £1 million a year, and it's good to see the borough all cleared up. We all want that. We all want a nice, tidy, clean borough. It's all he was asking was like, have you costed this with the 151 officer? And basically, it hadn't been worked out. It's a bit weird, really, because I've worked myself most of my life, and I normally know what the costings are going to be before I buy something. But that's the way you went about your business. But no, it's true, and you don't survive unless you do things that way. But now it's £1 million. So what I'm saying is, if it costs £2 million, great. As long as we've got a nice clean borough. As long as we know that the old 151 officer can keep supplying that money as to keep this clean. And if it needs be, you go back to the Tory government and say, don't cut your funds so much as to councils, so we can all have nice clean boroughs. If we need this money, if it's needed, it should be supplied to us. The other thing that I'm pleased about, Councillor Tolson, is obviously this sweep system that we're going to do for our bin collections. Since I've been a councillor, I've been on the environment team, and I was chair last year, and this was spoke about 2 years ago. And so it's about time it has been implemented. And I think it will work as to make sure that we get regular weekly bin collections and guarantee that we're going to keep that. So all in all, I'm glad that that's going to start on May, and hopefully we can have weekly in collection. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Right, 15 minutes is up, so Councillor Tolson, could you sum up, please, your portfolio holder report?
As I said, I am proud of the service, and I know there's been an awful lot of hard work in the time that we've been here. And my frustration at the beginning of the year was that once I took up this position, because I am passionate about it and I want it to be as good as it can be, I was a little bit disappointed to learn that there was an officer going to be in charge that already had a large service that he was covering, and myself and the chief exec had a conversation about this, and I also had one with the leader, because I wasn't happy and I wasn't convinced it was going to work. Moving on, that officer chose to leave, and we had an interim come in, and I wasn't happy about that, and I made sure the cabinet knew about it. And there's no disrespect to that officer, she was a fine officer, but in my mind I was thinking, how long are we going to be stuck with an interim? And that doesn't mean derogatory, I mean we want somebody here full time, on the ball, going in the right direction. And I really think the interim got us on that path, this officer that we have now, great, fantastic. So I want to see a cleaner Thurrock. We're putting in £1 million to cut it, clean it, fill it in 2017-18. We all want to have a sense of well-being, and we all want to be proud of the area we live in. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Tolson.